This lesson is called How to Grow Your Freelance Business and is going to show you 2 different ways you can go about scaling your business. The first is how to charge expert level rates as a freelancer. The second way is to build a freelance team or a freelance agency. And then we will go over how you can skyrocket your success. The reason growing your freelance business is important is because of the freedom that a successful business provides. And that is, it helps fuel your why, which is your passion, the whole reason you're doing all of this in the first place. When you have a profitable freelance business built and running, you really have the freedom to control how you want to live your life. You get to decide where you want to travel, what days a week you want to work, what time of the day you want to work, and ultimately, it grants you the freedom to be the architect of your life. And that is the position I am so grateful to be in. I'm talking from experience. I went from working a 9-to-5 where I felt trapped at to being my own boss with unlimited earning potential as well as true freedom over my life. The first way you can grow your business is by becoming a freelance expert. A freelance expert is someone who can charge higher rates. And the reason behind that is because you are providing a higher level of value. So as you go along your freelance journey, continue to invest in yourself and into your skill set. The more skills you learn and the more results you are able to get, the more chances you have for becoming an expert. And when you're an expert, you're able to charge those higher monthly rates. The second way to focus on becoming a freelance expert is to focus on quality instead of quantity of projects. You might think that it makes a lot of sense to get as many reviews as you can, which it does, but you also need to make sure you're focusing 100% on the quality of each project. Then you can move on to the next one once that first one is completed to the best of your ability. You do not want to spread yourself thin here, especially when you're first starting out as a freelancer. When you're working your way up through the ranks, keep this in mind and it will help you have more success. Also, be more selective with your choices. I turn down a good amount of projects because I know they're not the best fit for me based on my skill set and my availability. So if something is below my skill set or below the rate that I want to charge, it doesn't make sense for me to work on that project or with that client. That is the time I could be investing with a more high ticket client that makes sense for me. So don't be afraid to say no to specific projects. This all goes back to qualifying those clients. If they're not qualified, you need to move on and be selective and find someone who is the best fit for you. Once you start to implement all of these different things, that is when you will start to have clients knocking on your door. And that means they're going to be finding your Upwork profile and they're going to be reaching out to you to see if you're available to work on their project. That's a great way to keep your pipeline full and to continue increasing your rates as a freelance expert. Once you become an expert, Upwork will prioritize you in the algorithm and continue to help you get more and more work. So on the screen right now are some examples of expert level copywriters. And as you can see, they're all charging over $100 an hour on average. And they also have jobs in the triple digits. So when you start to see this and you start to explore some of the top experts and freelancers on the Upwork platform, you'll see how much potential there is to become an expert and to charge those higher rates. Because those high ticket clients on the platform are looking to have their problem solved by the industry's leading freelancers. And by becoming an expert, you can become their go-to freelancer. Your second option when it comes to growing your freelance business is to build a team or an agency. This provides its own set of pros and cons, and it really all comes down to your personality type, whether you want to become an expert and go more the consulting route, or if you want to build a team and you're more of a leader. If you enjoy building effective teams and you like working with people and managing people, building a team or agency might be a great fit for you in the freelance world, because digital teams and agencies have a number of advantages. 2 heads are better than 1. When you're working on a team, you will always help solve more complex problems quicker because everyone has their own perspective and ways at looking at challenges. When you get multiple smart minds together, you can accomplish larger tasks and tackle bigger projects, aka you'll start getting bigger paydays. You can also hire for your weaknesses when you're building a team or an agency. This one is huge because once you have your skill set mastered, you can then focus on building a team that is good at your weaknesses. The skills you're not good at is something that you can hire for now. Always hire people that are smarter than you and that can help you with areas that you are weak. So for example, maybe you are not artistic. Then you can hire a graphic designer to join your freelance team. Or maybe you want to move your role to focus on large-scale tasks, and so you hire a virtual assistant or someone to help you with the admin level stuff. The idea here is to build a team of people who all complement each other. After you've built a freelance team, it's also way easier to systemize that and scale than if you're just working alone. Because once you have team member roles established, creating a process becomes much easier. Everyone is assigned a specific task and everyone knows what to do. It's no longer all on you, which means you can now work on scaling your business with your efficient freelance team or agency. You also have the ability to leverage buying time. When you're building a team and you're hiring people, that allows you to gain more time. And we all know time equals money. So if you want to make more money, you need to find a way to maximize your time. You do that by hiring people and building a team. When you have people working for you on your team and making you money, they are actually an asset and not a liability to you because they're helping you expand your time and get more revenue. This means you are buying time to make more money. And last but not least, when you're building a team, you have the ability to be agile and 100% digital. So you don't need to have any overhead, you don't need to pay any rent for an office, you don't need to commute anywhere. Everyone can be located in different parts of the world. It really doesn't matter. You have the flexibility to shift from project to project quickly because you have a tight-knit team and you are the one that calls the shots. That gives you the benefits of having an agile agency and the flexibility, as opposed to those bigger agencies that aren't able to be as agile and shift from project to project as quickly. That gives you all of the benefits of having a team and none of the cons of having a big agency that slows things down. When you go to build your team, a good way to do it is even using the Upwork platform. You can add your agency on there and you can post jobs looking for dedicated or long-term work. By using Upwork in reverse, you can use everything you learned about being a good freelancer to handpick the best ones to join your team. Another way that you can leverage a freelance team or hiring freelancers is by hiring for a short-term project. For example, let's say you have a client, but you need help to complete the project. You can hire an expert-level freelancer, pay them for an hour or two of their time, and then you get to use their expert-level advice. This works extremely well because now you are basically getting paid to learn from the expert, and your project gets to have a better chance for success. So you're doing multiple things that help move your freelance career forward. This lesson is called How to Master Freelance Finances, and it will show you how to manage your bankroll so you are in control of your money and not the other way around. In this lesson, we will be covering why forming an LLC has huge benefits, money strategies that the rich use, how to invest your savings, and how to avoid shiny object syndrome. The reason this lesson is important is because most people burn their money. When they get money, they spend it. If they start making more money every month, they find a way to spend that on something. The truth is, most people do not know how to save money and how to multiply it into more. Instead, they get stuck spending it on liabilities and depreciating assets that only fuel an ego-driven facade. In order to be a truly profitable freelancer and to build a real sustainable business, you must have your finances and bankroll in order. And this lesson will teach you just that. First, I'd like to discuss what an LLC is. Now, before I start, I do want to let you know this is just my experience and should not be considered legal tax advice. Please consult a tax professional to discuss your specific situation. So an LLC stands for a limited liability company. And basically what you're doing is you're forming your own legal business in the state that you live in. So instead of being a sole proprietor, you will be a business in the state that you live. Limited liability companies provide huge tax and liability benefits. There are a lot of different reasons in each of these two categories why it makes sense to file an LLC instead of just remaining a sole proprietor. On the tax side of things, when you form an LLC, you can harness the power of deductions. So a deduction is what helps you lower how much your taxable income is, which in turn helps you pay less on your taxes. There are many different expenses that qualify for a tax deduction, such as your home office, a percent of your internet bill, how many miles were driven because of your business, and even training materials like this course. If you have an LLC, you can write off all of these as business expenses. That means when you make money, you get to deduct everything you spent on those business expenses, so you get to pay less tax. So you should be writing off everything that I just mentioned if you want to take advantage of being an LLC. And as a freelancer, it makes sense to do this for so many different reasons. If you haven't done it yet, I suggest you do it, and you can even write off the cost of this course. So to do that, I like to use QuickBooks, and what you can do is go to the Profitable Tools and Apps and find a link to that there. And what QuickBooks lets me do is keep track of all of that accounting and all of those tax deductions and all of the income. That makes it super easy to just hand that off to an accountant and for them to prepare your taxes. When you start to learn all of the different ways an LLC can benefit you on the tax side of things, you'll realize that businesses that are LLCs have a huge advantage due to those deductions, whereas individuals do not get to take advantage of those certain tax benefits. Next, you also get to take advantage of a new pass-through deduction, which is what you are as a single member LLC. You serve as a pass-through entity where the money flows through the LLC into your personal income, which is a 20% pass-through deduction that they filed with this new tax law. So you get to take off 20% of that pass-through income, which previously you had to pay for. So this helps you offset your other taxes like self-employment tax and other ones. It gets pretty complex, so I do suggest that you get a good accountant, but just understand that when you form an LLC, you're getting multiple different types of tax benefits. On the liability side of things, when you file an LLC, you're protecting your personal assets, and that is one of the other biggest reasons an LLC is recommended for any freelancer. As always, this is for example purposes, so I suggest you speak with a lawyer or an accountant for further questions, but my suggestion is to make sure that you set up your LLC. It will help protect you, and if anything happens to go wrong, you will be happy you did. For example, if you don't have an LLC established and there's some sort of lawsuit with a client, your personal assets may be at risk, aka your house and your car and anything you have that's valuable. But when you are operating through an LLC, your personal assets are protected and only the business's assets would be at risk. This is a very important thing to understand, especially as you start to work with more high-ticket clients and the projects get larger in scale. Remember, it's not what you make, it's what you keep that matters. The moral of the story is, if you are going to make money, it's not how much you make that matters. It's what you get to keep after those taxes. And the truth is, taxes will be one of your largest expenses, if not the largest expense you'll ever pay in your entire life. So doesn't it make sense to lower your liability and keep more money in your pockets? That's why you should go and look into ways an LLC can benefit you in your specific situation. Now, let's talk about how the wealthy manage their wealth so you can model after them. The trick is to stay broke. And you might be asking, what does that even mean to stay broke? It means you need to keep sacred savings accounts that you transfer any money you make into after you take care of all of your bills. You never should be keeping more money than you need in your checking account because money will find a place to get spent. If you keep it in your checking account, you will find a way to swipe your credit card or to order something online, or something will come up where you need to use that. However, if that money is in your sacred saving account and you don't touch that at all, it is much safer there, and then you can invest that down the line. So this is what it looks like. When you open up an LLC, you can now open up a business checking account and saving account with your new company. This should only be used for your business expenses and for your freelancing income. This is the account you will enter into Upwork once you have it. When the money comes in, it first comes through that business checking account first. From there, you need to pay yourself first to handle your monthly expenses and all of your living expenses. That's exactly what you should do. The money should go directly into your business checking and then into your personal checking based on how much you need for your budget. Then this is the secret. This is how you stay broke. Once you've transferred the money you need into your personal account, you need to get that money out of your checking account for your business and into your business saving account. So make this type of account the one that is so sacred that once you put the money in, there is a promise to yourself that you make that you will not spend it no matter what. Even if something comes up in life where you need that money, instead of taking it out of that account, you need to go out there and create more money in the marketplace with your freelance skills. You're not allowed to take that out of that saving account. This is how the wealthy stay broke, and they ensure that they don't spend more money than they need to. This is where investments come in down the line because your business saving account will now be able to sustainably grow. However, if that money was just sitting in your checking account, chances are it would slowly be getting depleted. Now, once you are at a place where you'd like to pay yourself a nice bonus, you can take a vacation with it, buy a family member a gift, buy some new clothes, whatever it is. But it is important to take bonuses once you've earned them. But remember, with this bonus, you need to also invest into your personal savings with anything that's left over. Remember, always stay broke. So always keep any actual money you have in your saving account and you don't touch it until you're ready to invest. Because when money gets bored, it will get spent on something. I guarantee you'll find a way to spend it. So if you have some money and you transfer it over as a bonus into your personal checking to buy some things or to go on a vacation, once you're done with that, any excess needs to go now to your personal savings. So use this mentality of transferring your money into a sacred account, and it will help you stay more accountable and accumulate more wealth. Now with that wealth, the next step is to start making some smart investments with it. Now that you know how to stay broke, you need to think about what you're going to do once that money gets to a point that you're ready to invest it. The first tip is to keep your lifestyle the same. There's a statistic that says 76% of all Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and that's in the wealthiest country in the world. You need to understand that even though your freelance income might start to increase as you implement all of these things you're learning, it doesn't mean you need to go out there and start to increase the level of your lifestyle. I see this very often where as soon as someone starts getting some more money in, they go out there and they buy expensive cars, they get high-end apartments, they're eating out all the time, they're buying a bunch of shoes and clothes, but they don't remember that if they want to stay wealthy, that they need to be disciplined. And you might be seeing them on Instagram or just seeing like they're always going out and having fun, but sooner or later that's going to catch up with them. You need to have discipline here, and that means keeping your lifestyle the same even as you start rising through the ranks and your monthly income starts to skyrocket. Next, don't spend, invest. So you may be asking, well, what do I invest my money on? Well, the thing is, I suggest that you invest into yourself. An investment is anything that will pay off for you in the future. This can be both monetary and non-monetary. So just like this course, and just like this is an investment you made in yourself to learn more and increase your earning potential, continue investing in yourself because that's the only thing you can truly count on and trust. And do not invest in things that you don't understand. If you don't know how they work, do not get distracted by them because ultimately they're going to distract your focus and it can even cost you some of that hard-earned money that you work so hard to save. So focus on the things that you know, such as becoming a freelancing master. Invest in your skill set and continue to become more of an expert so you can keep charging higher rates. Next, continue investing into expanding your skills, whether that means taking more courses, getting advanced certifications, learning additional skills that complement your existing ones, whatever it is, continue expanding at all costs. Focus on getting extremely good and solving more and more problems and bigger problems. The more you do that, the more the money will continue to flow. And lastly, invest into upgrading your hardware. So your hardware is anything that you're using to actually conduct your freelance work on. Investing into upgrading my personal setup was my first big business expense that I ever invested in. I had finally saved up a few thousand from my first client and I decided to go all in on myself. I pushed all my chips into the middle of the poker table and I said, all in, let's do this. And this is what I did. I went from working on a cracked laptop on my kitchen table while my roommate was blasting music in the living room, which you can see in this Instagram photo taken in 2016, to investing in a legit office setup with a few $1,000s that I had initially saved up. That included the 27-inch iMac I'm currently working on, an additional external monitor to increase my productivity, and an ergonomic keyboard, mousepad, and chair. This all helps me get more done in less time and more comfortably. So just having a quicker operating computer and more room to work on, it enhanced my efficiency and helped me immediately start earning more money. And I was also able to get more done in less time. So with whatever you're doing, always make sure you're investing in yourself first. You are the one that knows that investing in yourself is the best decision you can make. And now let's discuss the final part of this lesson, something that is called the shiny object syndrome, just like in this example. So in this example, we have some dogs sitting at a very important meeting, and whoever is presenting the meeting says we need to stay focused on our marketing priorities and not get distracted by every shiny new, look, squirrel. That is ADD at its finest. And the truth is, many freelancers and online entrepreneurs fall victim to this. Shiny object syndrome needs to be avoided at all costs. And basically, it's when you begin to lose focus because new things, aka shiny objects, start to pop up on your path and deter your focus. To be the most profitable freelancer you can, you need to accept the fact that these shiny objects will come up on your journey. While you're focusing on Upwork and getting better at the skills you provide, I guarantee you there's going to be some new platform that pops up, some new skill set that might interest you, but you need to stay focused on what your goal is and don't get distracted with these new shiny objects that pop up. I made this mistake in the beginning of my journey. I was building my freelance business and my digital marketing agency, and instead of staying focused on that, I decided to try to start my own e-commerce store on the side. What happened was I ended up spending a lot of my time trying to build this e-commerce store when I really already had paying clients that wanted more of my help. I was spending my focus on something that looked like some new shiny object, aka building this e-commerce store that I thought would blow up overnight, and in reality, it was just taking focus away from my real income stream. And a part of this is understanding that some opportunities will be missed along the way. But what matters is that you're able to remain focused and take massive actions towards your goals. By jumping around from shiny object to shiny object, your circle of focus will get demolished. But when you stay focused on that one skill you're providing and staying on that platform you're on, that's when you will start to have more and more wins. Next, you need to protect your first flow of income with your life. If you're jumping around from shiny object to shiny object, before you know it, your first flow of income will dry up because your attention and your energy is getting split into multiple different areas. And I've seen this happen before. I've even had previous clients that begin to expand into new industries that they had no experience in. Before they knew it, they spread themselves too thin and their first business began to suffer because of the lack of attention. You need to protect your first flow, which is freelance client income, with your life. And that ties directly into the diversification myth. This is a largely misunderstood concept. But when you start to diversify your effort, your energy, and your money into multiple areas, that will actually hold you back. So when you make an investment, whether that's your time or whether that's your money, make sure you don't diversify it too much. You need to go all in on that one area in order to actually have a payoff. And there's a lot of different misconceptions around this because people think that if you put all your eggs in one basket and if that basket fails, then you have no more eggs. But as Andrew Carnegie said, take all your eggs and put them in one basket and watch that basket. Once you know that you are so dedicated that you are going to be there till the very end until you become successful, then you know that you are watching that basket and you are protecting all of the eggs within it. The only way you can fail is if you quit. And the true rich go all in on one or two big investments. Now, this is not to be confused with getting multiple flows of income because income is different than investments. I'm talking about investing your time into the main thing that is having an impact in your freelance business. And lastly, focus on the things that can't be destroyed. To avoid that shiny object syndrome, you need to focus on your knowledge and your experience. Those are things that no one can take from you. Even if you lost all of your money and everything you owned, you will still be left with your knowledge and experience. That will always be worth your investment because it enabled you to get those earnings in the first place, and you can always get them again. So now you understand how to master your freelance finances so you can begin putting all of these things into practice for your freelance business. I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson. This lesson is called Scaling to Multiple Clients, and it will show you how to grow your client base so you can scale your business and scale your profits. In this lesson, we will be covering how you can keep your pipeline full at all times, how you can go about getting referrals so you can scale to those multiple clients, and why you should continue building your portfolio throughout your entire freelance journey. The reason this lesson is important is because having multiple streams of monthly recurring revenue is the formula for building a profitable freelance business. In order to do that, you need to keep your pipeline full at all times. So the first part of this lesson is all about keeping your pipeline full. And your pipeline is the backbone of your business. It will be the reason you either succeed or fail as a freelancer. So to continue keeping your pipeline full, you need to, first, never stop prospecting. So you always want to keep the proposal process going. Keep prospecting and bringing in new opportunities using the winning proposal formula. One of the biggest mistakes I see freelancers make is that once they get a few clients, they stop prospecting. They've closed a few deals and then they stop going out there and trying to get more clients. Throughout your process, you cannot expect to keep every client you have forever. So now that you know that, you need to make sure that you're filling your future pipeline with other potential clients. So you can definitely expect some people to turn you down and some clients to leave you throughout your freelance career. That is the real world, so you do need to expect that and always be prospecting so you can overcome that and so you can continue to prosper. What you need to do is commit to daily prospecting. The only way this will help you is if you commit yourself to do it every single day. You need to make a big commitment and dedication to yourself that you are going to keep your pipeline full at all times. And to do that, you need to take all the actions necessary to get the deal closed. Then follow up with all of those people and continue doing that process over and over. So even those things you don't feel like doing, like putting all the time in to create that winning proposal and to continue following up in creative ways, even if the client doesn't get back to you, at the end of the day, keep that in mind that that is well worth it because you need to keep prospecting to secure your future as a profitable freelancer. Next, to keep your pipeline full, you can expand to additional channels. So remember, keep your circle of focus very, very tight and only expand to another platform once you have that first one mastered. I don't suggest going off of Upwork until you have made a good amount of money on there and now you're ready to spread your wings and to expand to other channels. When you're first starting out, you need to do everything you can and focus all of your attention on that single network, in this case Upwork, so you can build that profitable profile that will secure you clients down the line. Only then can you move on to that next channel or that next website or platform to land some more freelance deals. Next, you must pay attention and get people in your pipeline. It won't matter how good you are at your service if you don't have any clients to serve. And it takes a massive level of continued action to keep that sales funnel full, no matter what day it is or how the economy is doing. The number one reason businesses fail is because they can't get enough qualified leads to purchase their products or services. So make sure you don't end up in that position and you're always planning ahead by taking those massive levels of action. And returning to your previous contacts is another powerful way you can keep your pipeline full. This is when you can start to begin using that network you've built over the years to find new opportunities. And this isn't just as a freelancer. This is your entire work career and even all of your acquaintances and family members. Start to go back and look where there's opportunities to integrate into your pipeline. Which leads us right into our next section, which is getting client referrals. Start with your current network. So just like with getting that trial client, starting with your current network is the best place to start when you want to land some referral clients. A referral is when a client or a connection you have refers another business owner to do business with you. This is one of the most powerful forms of lead generation because the word of mouth referral is one of the most trusted and credible sources of referral. People trust their friends more than anyone else, and they trust people in their circle more than the business or freelancer that's trying to do business with them. So when you have a referral, take that very seriously because that's a great way to start to grow your freelance business. In your current network, you can look at friends, friends of friends, and relatives. Start there and look at number one, who's a business owner, or number two, who knows a business owner or knows someone who has a brand or a company that they could use your help with. It's all about using the resources and the network you already have to get those referrals. Then move to your professional circle. Once you've exhausted all of the options in your friends and families and relatives, then move on to people you've done business with in the past, such as your current clients or even your prior unsold clients. This might sound funny, but if you go back and even those clients that didn't do business with you, you might be able to get a referral from them because maybe they wanted to do business with you, but it just wasn't a good time or something didn't work out. Because you already invested time in that client, you might as well try to get a referral out of them and see if anyone else they know could use your services. The same way you go about asking for the close is the same way you should approach getting referrals. You just need to ask for it. Don't be shy here. Reach out to your network and ask them if they know anyone that could benefit from what you serve. This is a great way you can land more clients, and that's a gold mine that's already sitting there. It's just waiting for you to go nurture it and uncover it. You can ask things like, who else do you know that can benefit from this service? You can ask your network this either through a phone call, an email, or even a text. You do want to make sure you ask this at the appropriate time. For example, after a successful month or right after you've onboarded the client. You wouldn't want to ask this during a rough period or when sales for the company are down that month or anything like that. So use your best judgment, but make sure you do ask for it when the time is right. That's how you can start getting these referrals. Another way that you can get a referral from a previous client is to say something like this: I worked with you about 3 months ago on that project, and I'm calling to see if you know any other businesses that need a similar project completed. This is really a win-win, because when you do something like this, you're getting that word of mouth out there. And like we just discussed, word of mouth is king. So you will get a direct word of mouth referral, and in return, your client can now help out one of their business partners or one of their friends. So I wish I had placed more of an emphasis on getting referrals in the beginning of my freelance career, because I didn't know how powerful that they were going to be until I started to see it happen with my own eyes. With a handful of high-ticket clients and learning how to ask for referrals in the right manner, that could exponentially increase the revenue you're at as a freelancer. Lastly, in this lesson, we are going to discuss how and why you should continue building your portfolio out on Upwork. Ultimately, this is what is going to help you scale to multiple clients. Continue building those case studies and portfolio items so you can use that to sell future clients with the results you've had. Once you start to have some good success stories, you need to use those to get future clients. You need to open your proposals with those, use those on your sales calls and in the sales demos, and use the results instead of just using words or claims. That is how you can start to show potential clients that you are the real deal, and you can back it up with results. And all of those results should be in your portfolio. Another benefit of keeping your portfolio up to date is that it helps you get found. Because when you're updating your portfolio, Upwork knows this, and they're looking to match up business owners with freelancers that are the most active on the platform. They don't want freelancers getting jobs that don't check for days and days. They want freelancers that are in the platform every day, that are constantly updating their portfolio and staying on top of the ball. That is how you can get yourself in the best position to be found by future clients. And lastly, building a positive online reputation is what will help you attract clients to you. As you start your freelance journey on Upwork, you are going to have to go out there, build a lot of those winning proposals, and do a lot of selling and showing how much value you can deliver. Once you've gotten past that initial period and you already have a portfolio that's starting to come together and your online reputation is starting to increase, that's when you will notice clients that want to work with you will start to come out of the framework. And Upwork makes this very easy for you. They will send you emails when a client invites you to a project, and they will also start showing your profile to business owners as they search on the platform for specific freelancers. So for example, if someone's looking for Google ads or YouTube ads, a lot of times I am showing up for that client and they're finding me that way. Clients want to work with the most expert level freelancer they can if it's a high ticket client. And when you continue to build your portfolio up, you're adding in those case studies and you're continuing to get those reviews, that is how you can put yourself in the best position to start to attract those clients to come to you. So now you know how you can start scaling to multiple clients. I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to your future freelance success. I'll see you in the next lesson. This lesson is called How to Upsell and Bundle Your Services. In this lesson, I will be teaching you how you can build a profitable revenue stream that is both reliable and consistent. And that revenue stream is based on monthly retainers. So I will be showing you what a monthly retainer is in the first place. Then I will show you how you can start moving from hourly positions to monthly retainers. This doesn't have to be shifting entire projects or jobs, but you can turn your current clients you have into those monthly retainers by following what I'm going to show you. Then I will discuss how you can bundle your skills together. This will help you shift your mindset more towards the monthly retainer thinking. And then I will go into how you can charge for that bundle. Here, I will show you how you can assign different values for the skills that you are going to provide. Everything in this lesson is also included in the handout associated with this module, and that is the upselling and bundling cheat sheet. So make sure to check with that if you have any questions as you go about your journey. The reason this lesson is important is because if you can never escape the time trap, you're always going to be tied to the clock. If you're never able to charge for the value that you provide, you will always have to punch the clock, show up to work for the rest of your life. But if you can start to build value and you can start to bundle your services and charge repeatedly for them, that's when you can escape this trap. So first, what is a monthly retainer in the first place? Before we begin talking about upselling and bundling, first we need to get clear on what a monthly retainer is. A monthly retainer is a fee paid by a client to a freelancer for next month's work. This means that you're securing that fee before you do the work, and it's a one-time fee that covers the entire month of service. This assures that the services that the client is purchasing will be delivered throughout the entire month. It also is associated with long-term projects and helps both the client and the freelancer have that predictability. So usually when you're working on a monthly retainer basis with a client, that's once you've established that value with them and built that long-term relationship. That is how you're going to start to charge for the value that you provide and escape being tied to the clock. For example, a monthly retainer could be $750 a month to manage a company's social media accounts and post on them daily. Another example of a monthly retainer is $1,500 a month to manage Facebook ads and provide weekly reports. As you can see, retainers are for anything that you provide as a freelancer, and they're on an ongoing basis, on a monthly basis. That is how a monthly retainer works. And it doesn't mean that the client needs to be locked into that for any period of time. Usually a monthly retainer is on a month-to-month basis. So the client will pay you either $750 to manage all their ads or $1,500 in the other example to manage their Facebook ads. And for that secures them a month of your services. As you go about moving from hourly to monthly billing, we need to understand first that it all starts with a perspective shift. So you need to start to shift your thinking away from that 9-to-5 thinking that you're not worth any value besides the time you punch on the clock. The truth is you're worth much more than that. Understand that moving from hourly to monthly billing is actually benefiting both you and the client. Moving from an hourly billing to a monthly retainer will probably get some objections from the client at first, but in reality, you need to make them understand that it's a benefit to both of you and that you are charging based on the value that you provide and not the time you're putting into the project. If it was just the time, then you can tell them that there's always going to be a freelancer cheaper, but there's not always going to be an expert like you that is ready to serve them. Next, come to terms that monthly retainers are the fundamental building block of any profitable business. So there is an ongoing debate in the freelance world and in the digital marketing world of hourly rates versus flat rates. And this can be known as the hourly rate versus flat rate dilemma. However, I am here to tell you that you should be basing the majority of your business on those recurring monthly revenue clients and not those hourly clients. Because recurring revenue is the pillar, is the building block, is the foundation of any profitable business. You need to build predictable, steady streams of revenue. Like we discussed all the way in the beginning modules, cash is not king, cash flow is king. So if you have to punch that clock in every single day to get that hourly pay, you are not free. But if you build monthly cash flow that's predictable and secured, that's when you can start getting towards that higher level of success with freelancing. Next, you have to shift your perspective away from that 9-to-5 mentality that makes you feel you are only worth that certain amount of money per hour. Because the truth is you are not. You are worth much more than that, and you can charge for the value that you provide. When you go to either upsell your current clients or you pitch this to a new client, Like we said, you're probably going to get some objections. So it's important to learn how you can handle those client objections and understand these main 2 points as you go about handling those objections. First, hourly work incentivizes slow work. Don't you want me to be able to provide my best value service at the quickest speed possible? This is how you can start to show the client that moving to a monthly retainer isn't just about you getting more money. It's about you providing more value and looking out for both sides of the relationship. When you begin to have the client understand that hourly work actually incentivizes freelancers to work slow and stretch the clock, you might be able to shift their perspective right there. If not, all you have to do is keep providing value and show them in different ways why that monthly retainer is beneficial for both of you. Another way to do that is to describe that your client hired you for the results that you bring, not pay you by the hour. So if they wanted to find someone cheaper that delivers less results, that's always an option for them. You don't want to come off as rude as you say this, but don't shy away from the truth. Tell them, you're hiring me because of the expertise I have and how good I am at the skills I deliver. If you just were worried about the price, like we learned in the price myth, they can always find that cheaper option, but they won't get that same level of service or the same level of results. Now let's go into how you can bundle your skills together. Because in order to charge a monthly retainer, you need to be able to package your skills into a bundle. It's important to understand different ways you can bundle your skills together so you can start offering these monthly services for clients. Even one-time projects have the ability to turn into long-term ones. So once you know how to effectively bundle your skill set and sell it effectively, you can start to get long-term clients that pay you monthly right from the start. So you don't need to start off as hourly and then always move to bundling. You can start offering that bundle right from the start. Ask yourself, how can I charge monthly for the skills that I deliver? This is going to be different based on what freelance skill set that you provide. But start to ask yourself this question and ask how you can provide ongoing help or support so you can charge monthly retainers. For example, if you're a web designer, you can offer ongoing email support, unlimited website updates, and web and email hosting. So don't just build a website and send it off. You need to build these ongoing relationships with clients. And in order to have a monthly retainer, you need to bundle some different things together. This way, the client knows that they're getting multiple values for that one price that they're paying. Another example is if you're a copywriter, instead of just offering to write them that one article, you can offer to write weekly blogs, write content for their social media, and write content for their email campaigns. This is how you can start to deliver much more value as a freelancer. The more you begin to look at what complementary services you can bundle together, the more you will be able to charge monthly for the skills that you provide. That is your whole goal here. You don't want to just have a one-time client and always be chasing that next job. You want to secure the best high-ticket clients and offer them these monthly skill bundles that will help both you and the client. Another example is if you're a content marketer, you can offer to write weekly email campaigns and manage their entire social media accounts. This is how you can start to show them that you're not just offering a one-time project, but you want to be a part of their team. You want to work with them on an ongoing basis, and then you show them the tactics and the specific tasks of how you are going to get them there. As you can see, there is always a way to turn your skill into a monthly service that you can repeat and charge a monthly retainer for. The second step is to now begin bundling all of those skills associated into different tiers so clients can choose which one is best for them. The goal here is to show how much value the client will receive is directly related to how much they are going to be paying. This is how you can escape the time trap and truly scale to a profitable freelance business. Now, let's take our previous content marketing example, and I want to show you how you can bundle those skills into 3 different options for the client. For the first bundle, let's say you offer 1 email campaign per week, and then you offer 5 Facebook posts per week. For your second bundle, you can start to build on that. So include those same 2 skills, but then also offer to build 5 Instagram posts per week and also write 1 SEO optimized blog per week. In the third example, this content marketer could bundle even more services together and increase the quantity of what they were previously going to deliver. So for bundle 3, let's say they offer 2 email campaigns per week, 10 Facebook posts per week, 10 Instagram posts per week, and 2 SEO written blog posts per week. On top of that, they also throw in monthly analytics reporting. So as you can see, each bundle tier needs to build off of each other. And when you start to lay out your different skill bundles like this, you and the client can easily see how much value is going to be delivered for that specific bundle. I strongly encourage you to build out 3 different skill bundles so you can begin offering monthly retainers to your clients right away. As you do this, make sure you only include those skills and those services that you know you'll actually be able to deliver results for. This is a great way you can also look for those complementary skills that you can learn so you can charge even more as a freelancer. Now, let's get into how to charge for those skill bundles. This is the exciting part where we get to talk about making money. This is how you upsell your clients for the value that you offer and not the time that you put in. Once you begin to see why charging a monthly retainer helps you so much, I promise you will never go back. First, let's start by remembering each tier builds off of each other. So just like you laid each skill out, now you can begin putting prices next to each one and adding them up for each bundle. So for bundle number 1, let's say you assign a value of $400 for those email campaigns and $200 for those Facebook posts. That puts bundle 1 at $600 per month. For bundle 2, let's say you keep those rates and then you also allocate $200 for the additional 5 Instagram posts and $400 for those written blogs every week. That puts your bundle 2 at $1,200 per month. And for bundle 3, you increased the quantity and you also added more skills. So now bundle 3 puts you at $2,400 a month. So now that you've established these 3 different bundles, you're now starting to put yourself at a much bigger advantage. For the client, they now have 3 different options to choose from based on how much value they want to get and how much they can afford to pay. You're shifting the thinking from just paying you an hourly rate and you're showing them what you are going to deliver. This is crucial as you go about upselling your clients and you begin charging monthly retainers. On your end, this is where it starts to get exciting. So let's say bundle 1 takes you about 12 hours to complete. That means you will make about $50 an hour, because $600 a month divided by 12 equals $50 an hour. However, if you went straight to the client and just asked them for $50 an hour, and let's say you're just starting out, chances are you're not going to be able to get that. However, when you show them the value that you are going to be providing and the different tasks and the quantity of those that you will deliver, you're taking the focus off of that hourly rate and you're showing them why that monthly retainer is the price it is. You're showing the client exactly what they can expect to receive, and that is what they like to see. But wait, it gets better. So as we move on to tier 2, let's say your current email campaigns and Facebook posts actually help you do the additional Instagram and blog services quicker. For example, you can repurpose some of the emails you send and turn them into blog posts and Facebook and Instagram posts. This will help you save time. Let's say bundle 2 takes you about 20 hours to complete. That puts you at a rate of $60 an hour, because that's $1,200 divided by 20 hours. Not only did you just double your monthly retainer by going from bundle 1 to bundle 2, but you also got a $10 an hour raise while you were at it. If you just went to the client and asked them for a $10 an hour raise, chances are it would be incredibly difficult to get that. But when you're bundling your services together and you're offering value instead of your time, you have the ability to scale much faster and easier. Both you and the client benefit when you begin to bundle your skills together. Now for the final bundle. Let's say bundle 3 takes you 30 hours per week. That means you will now be at $80 per hour. That means you just doubled your revenue with a 50% increase in time spent. The power of monthly retainers helps freelancers and entrepreneurs all around the world build profitable businesses. While there are always people willing to work for pennies on the dollar, it's the smart freelancers who know how to offer value, bundle their services, and repeat. Remember, there is no one-size-fits-all when it comes to these monthly retainers, but be sure to offer services that your clients actually want and need. If your client in this example went with that bundle 3, you are now at an $80 an hour rate, and that is exceptional. I suggest you start building out your customized skill bundles based on what type of projects you want to work on and what type of clients you want to work with. These are the foundations to building a healthy, consistent, and predictable income flow as a freelancer. Now you know how to upsell and bundle your skills into monthly retainers so you can escape the clock and start charging for your value and not for your time. I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson. This lesson is called How to Manage and Retain Long-Term Clients, and it will show you how to keep profitable, ongoing relationship with clients so you can get paid monthly. This lesson will consist of us going over how you can continue following up with speed. So once you've closed those clients, your follow-up does not stop. Delivering urgency and delivering value with speed does not stop. If anything, you should continue to serve at the highest level possible. This will help you build those long-term relationships with clients. Then we will discuss how you can provide weekly updates and reports. This is how you can continue being an excellent communicator throughout your relationship with that client, as well as how you can create a positive customer experience. This is all about delivering that customer service that is more than just service. It's an experience to the customer. So when they're working with you as a freelancer, they know that you are the best fit for them, and every time they get on a call with you or they work on a new project with you, they're always left with a positive taste in their mouth because you leave that positive experience based on how you go above and beyond for them. And becoming a part of the team is how you can continue to create that positive customer experience. When a client feels that you as a freelancer are really taking charge of your role and you're putting yourself in the shoes of the company and really going above and beyond, that's when they are going to be much more willing to really build that long-term relationship with you and pay you for years and years to come. Because the clients that I had in the beginning, I always delivered the best work possible, and a good amount of them are still with me today. And that is years and years down the line. So you can do this. Just remember, you're working with people. Anything you're doing with freelancing, you're in the people business as well. So don't only focus on the value of work you're providing, but also on the level of customer experience and how much you're putting yourself in the shoes of the company so they know that you are really becoming a part of their team. The reason managing and retaining long-term clients is important is because of recurring revenue and the benefits that it provides. Firstly, recurring revenue allows you to escape the clock so you can get paid on the value that you provide and not the time that it takes you to complete a task. When you can escape the clock, that is when you will start to get true freedom. Because when you're no longer getting paid for the time that you put in and you start getting paid for the value that you're providing and the skill set that you're offering, that's when business owners will start to be happy to work with you and pay you those higher rates. When I work with business owners, they pay me thousands a month because that is my minimum fee. And the reason they're happy with that is because I'm good at the skill I offer. When I run online ads for my clients, I make them tens of thousands of dollars per month. So know your worth here and make sure you're offering a profitable skill that will allow you to escape the clock. And it's okay to start out with some hourly jobs or even sprinkle them in to your freelance client mix. But eventually, you want to be able to bundle your services together and charge 1 to 2 $1,000 a month for your services. That is how you are going to build all of those recurring revenue benefits. Also, when you develop recurring revenue, it allows you to increase your profitability. You can start to make $100 to $150 an hour with this model when otherwise you wouldn't be able to charge anywhere close to that rate hourly. As we saw in the previous example, you can begin to add more skills to the table and increase that monthly retainer much easier than it would be to double your hourly rate. It also gives you the ability to scale. When the scope of work changes in a project, when you're charging a fixed price, you can then scale your fee to match what the new scope of work is. Once you have those higher profits and a skill bundle in place, it's easier to just add and then upgrade your fee. So if you're offering $500 a month and then the client wants you to do a couple more things for them, you can then pitch them $750 a month or $1,000 a month with those new services in place. So it allows you to scale much easier. If you were on an hourly basis, they would just keep throwing things at you and they would just expect you to get things done in as little time as possible. But the truth is, when you're working hourly as a freelancer, there's really not that much of an incentive to complete things at an urgent pace because you're getting paid by the hour. So a lot of freelancers will just stretch the clock. So you can also use that as you're selling and negotiating with clients. Let them know that wouldn't you rather have me work as quick as possible on these projects? An hourly model doesn't support that. Don't be afraid to ask those hard questions and to confront the truth. It will help you greatly when you go to begin to scale. And lastly, recurring revenue also gives you the benefit of predictability. When you're charging clients on a monthly basis and you're putting in your contracts that they need to give at least 30 days before they cancel, you are able to build a stable monthly income. And ultimately, this delivers you peace of mind. Because that is one of the things with freelancing. If you don't do it the right way and you don't build a profitable business model, you are not going to have that predictable income. And that's why some freelancers don't have that profitable business built. And that's the difference between just being a freelancer and making some money and having a real business built. Focus on this recurring revenue because this is one of the most sensitive pain points when it comes to freelancing. You need to be able to communicate your value and charge monthly for it. You don't have to worry about where that next job comes from when you've built this solid foundation first. Now we're going to go over how you can maintain clients by continuing to act with urgency. Clients will also put you through what I call the trial phase. So just like I showed you how you can go out there and get those trial clients, clients will also put freelancers they hire through an initial phase where they're testing you out. So for example, one of my clients I had, that's one of my biggest clients today that gives me referrals every single month. They were very strict at first. They wanted to see screen recordings of every single thing I did after every work session. They wanted me to log every detail and follow up with them on a daily basis. And this was no problem for me because I knew they were putting me through a trial. And they had even told me that their last freelancer they worked with really didn't help them out and wasn't giving their all. So I knew this client, number one, needed a good freelancer, and number two, was just testing me and putting me through this trial phase. So when you understand that, you can make sure you have your mindset in a place where you're always ready to act with urgency and you're ready to go above and beyond when needed, especially in those first few months when working with a client. Because I agreed to doing all of those things, fast forward a few months later, they turned into one of my most loyal clients and I already have 3 referrals for them. So it's not always about having that trial phase last the entire relationship. It's really about getting through that trial phase and proving to them that you are a great freelancer. The truth is, if you don't show them that you are going to deliver even more than you're charging in value, they are probably going to keep you in that trial phase and then eventually hire another freelancer to take your role. That's why it's important to make sure you're always keeping this in mind as you begin to land those first few clients. Next, continuing to act with urgency and speed is vital. And this is also with your communication with clients ongoing. This isn't just when you're landing jobs and when you're getting that deal signed. This is the whole relationship and the entire length of you working with that client. 71% of consumers say that valuing their time is one of the most important factors. Speed is one of the new ways you can achieve a great customer experience. So even if you're just starting out and you're not an expert freelancer yet, you can combine your skill set with your ability to act with urgency and speed on a consistent basis to separate yourself from the pack. Also, keep in mind that talk is cheap. Show your clients through actions. Even once you get the job and the client has started paying you, don't just let your words do the talking. Let your actions do the talking. Start to get those results that you promised in those big claims during your proposal process. So don't just tell your clients you're going to do things for them. Go out there, get the results, and show them through continued urgent actions. That is what will help you gain their trust and will help build that long-term relationship for years and years to come. Also, separate yourself from the pack and don't forget about this after you've won the client over, because the client can always leave. Don't get too comfortable at any time. As you're delivering your services, make sure you're going above and beyond at all times. Ultimately, this is where most people fall short. It's in the customer service department. Most people and freelancers can do good in the beginning, but they can't stay consistent. It's just like a muscle. You have to work out your ability to continue delivering amazing service, continuing acting with speed, and providing great value. Always using fast communication is one of the quickest ways you can fast track your freelance success. This is how you can separate yourself from the pack and you can have clients that want to work with you. Next, I'm going to go over how you can keep that line of communication open once you've landed those clients so you can maintain a long-term relationship. One of the great strategies I like to use is to send clients weekly and monthly reports. So it might not sound like a lot, but it's easy to lose communication with a client. If you don't have it on your calendar and in your CRM, in your reminders to have a weekly reach out to clients, they will begin to forget about you because whatever is out of sight is out of mind. So you don't want them to ever see how much they're paying you and wonder, what are they even doing for me again? You need to be in their face with all the value that you are providing. And a great way to do that is through weekly updates and reports. So no matter what skill set you're providing, there's always a way to provide a written update and to provide some sort of screenshot or report to show the value you are delivering. You can also call people, update them on a regular basis, and stay creative with the different ways you get in touch. You always need to think about exceeding your customers' expectations every day. That is how your clients will stay with you for the long term. Here is a stat that will help you on your freelance journey. 80% of customers say that the company they're working with does not have the context of their last conversation. This is massive because just by keeping good notes, you can separate yourself from 80% of the other freelancers out there. If you want to maintain and foster those relationships with clients that are mutually beneficial and profitable on both ends, make sure you keep track of what you discussed in your last conversation with them. This will help you not only follow up with them, but also it will help you have more ammunition and firepower every time you're on an update call with them. So how can you combat this? You can keep good files on people. Like I've been saying throughout the entire academy, it's in the Profitable Tools and Apps handout, HubSpot Free CRM. This is what it looks like when you log in and you create your account. You can build different profiles on every customer that you've gotten in touch with. You can log notes, emails, calls. You can even build out reminders and tasks and activities. You can keep notes on things like what the last call consisted of, what your next steps are, what's the client doing in their personal life. You need to pick up on all of these things. So for example, if the client says that they have kids and they need to go run their kids to karate practice, keep that in mind because on the next call, that's a great way you can break the ice. And that's a great way you can show that you're more relatable and you're not just in it for the business, but you're really in it to build that long-term relationship and you care about the client. Clients want to know that you're there to help them, not just to make money. So this is all ammunition and more firepower you can use. This is follow-up gold that will separate you from the pack. All of this information will help you foster long-term, profitable relationships with other business owners. Another amazing feature that HubSpot has is you can even track if a client opens up one of your emails. I love this feature, and not many freelancers even know about this. So it's another way you can differentiate yourself and get more data on what your clients are doing. So if you know that a client opened your email, but they didn't get back in touch with you, you know you should probably follow up and get to what that pain point is or objection. On the other hand, if you sent over a quote or another proposal and you know that they haven't opened it yet, you can continue following up and asking if they've seen it yet. This is just more and more behind the scenes data you can use to build those long-term relationships. So if you haven't done it yet, go ahead to the Profitable Tools and Apps, click on the HubSpot link and get your free CRM started. So now that you use HubSpot to log all of your notes with your clients, the next step is to begin sending your clients weekly updates and reports of what you worked on. I also like to include a report from a program called Optimizer, which shows all of the Google ad performance in the previous period. I can send them a PDF with a paragraph or two discussing what went on in the last week and what I've been working on. Lastly, I like to outline my next steps to show the client I'm always working on that next thing. Your goal when you're working with clients is to be as transparent as possible throughout the entire process. So clients always want to be able to be kept in the loop. Even if things aren't going good for a certain period of time or challenges come up, make sure you're transparent. Bring that up to them immediately. And that's why having these weekly ongoing updates and reports is one of the ways you can do that. It will really help you separate yourself from the pack again, because a lot of freelancers will fall off. Everyone can stay consistent for a couple weeks or a couple months, but it's only the true profitable freelancers that can stay consistent year in and year out. You can also head over to the Profitable Tools and Apps handout. Under the reporting section, I include some links to other software and tools and websites you can use to show your clients the value that you are providing. So depending on your skill, that is the type of update and report you are going to send out. Now that we've spoken about how you can manage clients, now let's talk about how you can really retain them for the long term. And that takes understanding what it means to be an asset to a company versus what it means to be a liability to that company. When you're an asset to a company, you are someone that becomes part of their team that delivers value on an ongoing basis. This is what it's all about. It's all about immersing yourself in that company, in your client's company culture, and becoming part of their team. Of course, as a remote freelancer, you're not going to be in the office with them, but you're going to be in their minds and in their virtual network. You're going to be delivering as much value as you can and working with every person on that client's team that you need to deliver the best service possible. When you show the client you're not just in this for the money and you want to become a part of their team and you're showing them through your actions, that's when you can really secure those long-term relationships. Some ways I like to do this is go above and beyond what my job is. So if I'm just providing Google Ad services for a client, I'll also send them different suggestions on how they can improve their website or different content they can use so we can run them in ads down the line. As you can see, that might be outside of the scope of work, but it's showing that I'm going above and beyond in specific areas, which shows that I want to become part of the client's team. And trust me, business owners will appreciate that. Next, you want to be proactive and not reactive. Being a liability means you are a threat to the company. And if you are reactive and you let problems happen before you go and solve them, that is when you are not going to be able to secure that relationship for the long term. So instead of being reactive, be proactive. As the great Warren Buffett said, if you got a problem, tell me quick. And I like to say, better yet, Do everything you can do to be proactive to solve those challenges before they even turn into a major issue. Rather than reactive, where you wait for things to break and then you go and try to fix them, make sure you're being proactive and you're keeping track of where everything's at so you can prevent issues in the first place. Clients will love you for that, and that will show them that you're an asset and not a liability. Next, prove that you want to be there in order to separate yourself from the competition. Show them with the value that you're providing that you want to earn their business every single month. Just because that is a client of yours, show them that you are approaching this like you can lose them at any time. The world is a very competitive place. There are so many different freelancers and choices for anything a client needs done. And this makes it difficult because if you're not delivering that value, a client may leave, but you need to make it difficult for that client to go anywhere else. And the way you do this is by showing that you deliver so much value that no freelancer, even if they go to them, can provide a higher level of service. Not only that, but you've now integrated yourself as part of the client's team and an asset to their company. This is how you build a profitable freelance business. Shift your mindset towards becoming an asset versus a liability. And lastly, understand the common customer complaints. When you arm yourself with all of the common customer complaints and the different things that can come up on the journey, you can be more prepared to handle them before they even occur. This is a great way you can have those objection responses and complaint responses ready to go throughout the entire client journey. This will help you manage and maintain those clients for the long term. Now you know how to manage and maintain long-term clients so you can be the most profitable freelancer possible. Managing and scaling your freelance business. This module is all about how you can start to take your existing clients that you now have to that next level and turn it into a thriving, profitable freelance business. The goal of this module is so you can learn how to manage and scale your business. And your business is all related on how you can serve your clients. At the end of the day, it all comes down to the types of projects you work on and the clients that you serve. If you are able to provide great service and you can build long-term relationships with business owners, that will help you build that recurring monthly revenue that is needed to build a profitable business. So for example, if you get one client at $500 per month, that means you are at $6,000 per year in revenue. If you're able to build a long-term relationship with them and you can prove that you're a valuable asset on their team, they should have no problem keeping you for years. But let's say instead of continuing to just provide that same skill and services to that client, over time, you continue to sharpen your tool set. You keep learning new skills, and you can go to your client eventually with a proposition to help with additional tasks, which will ultimately result in more revenue for you. So now, instead of that client paying you $500 per month, you're offering them more services and you sold them on a $1,500 package per month. This means that you just took that same initial client at $6,000 a year and turn them into an $18,000 a year client. It's pretty exciting when you start to look at it like that, isn't it? Because you don't need to always grow your clients right from the start. You can start with that first client and begin to upsell them until you've maximized how much value and how much money you both can exchange. Once you have that new package in place and you've been working with that client for a while, you should be confident and comfortable in your skills to provide that same package to an additional client. It's the same thing. You're just going to go out there, use the same process, and secure another client so you can provide your services to. Even though they're in a different industry and they're a different business, at the end of the day, you're going to be providing the skill set that you are an expert in. So that's when you begin to use the power of referrals and the entire proposal process that we've learned in this entire academy. Once you've hit those two clients at 1.5K monthly retainers each, you are now at $36,000 per year, and that's just with 2 clients under your belt. If you continue to use all of the things I'm teaching, such as getting referrals, continuing to get trial clients, getting those good reviews, and sending out those winning proposals, there's no reason you can't land that 3rd monthly client at that same package of $1,500 per month. You are now at $54,000 per year with just 3 clients. But wait, because this process doesn't stop. As you've learned throughout this entire course, you don't stop once you've had some success. You need to keep building off of that and use it as momentum to keep pushing you forward. So you can continue scaling to more clients, and you can continue increasing your rates as you become an expert in your field. So now, let's say you upsell those clients and you also get an additional client. So now you have 4 clients and you've raised your rates to $2,000 per month. This is not unreasonable by any means, because when you're delivering monthly value to business owners and you're making them money, at the end of the day, it shouldn't be a problem for them to pay you $2,000 a month, because you should be generating much more than that for their company with the skills and services you are providing. So with that, you are now at $96,000 per year. So if you can get 4 monthly clients and work your rates up to $2,000 per month, which is not unreasonable, you're basically at a 6-figure income. And that's only off of 4 clients. The main point to remember is, number 1, keep providing the best service you can throughout your entire journey. Every client you work with, this should be your goal, to turn them into a long-term client that's paying you $2,000 a month on a consistent basis. And number 2, only work with high-ticket clients so you can be in the position like this slide. If you're working with low-ticket business owners and people who are just kicking tires and don't really want an expert freelancer to help them, and they don't have the money or not willing to spend it, you are not going to get to this level and you're going to waste your time. This is what your goal is. You want to build a handful of loyal, long-term relationships that will build your profitable freelance business. Now, let's go over what is going to be covered in this module. First, we will go into how you can manage and retain those long-term clients. This is where I teach you how to turn a project into a relationship with a client that's beneficial on both sides. Then we will go into how you can upsell and bundle your services together. This will help you do a multitude of different things, such as charge monthly, increase your rates, and get away from being tied to the clock. Then we will go over how you can scale to multiple clients. Here I will reveal different strategies which will help you get those next clients on your freelance path. And then we will go into how you can master your finances as a freelancer. Here, I go over how I built an LLC, the benefits associated with it, as well as how you can manage your money so you can set yourself up for success. After that, we will go into how you can grow your freelance business. Here, you can go one of 2 different ways, and both of them give you the option based on what your personality type is and where you want your future to go. Because as a freelancer, that's the beauty of this. You get to choose how you want your business to grow. And lastly, we will go into how you can skyrocket your success as a freelancer.